and you're in business, you're going to be watching those movies, and you're going to be smiling ear to ear. And maybe you want to do what I did. I know it sounds crazy, but I cut my cable bill. I said, enough's enough. $80 with Spectrum, here in the local market, forget about it. I'm not going to pay that kind of money. But with 123 Ready TV for $19.99, baby, I'm going to do it. Why don't you do it too? Get it now at forthepeopleshow.com. Click on the store page now. All right, so let's move on to our next story. And who else do we have? Ladies and gentlemen, Hillary Clinton. She wants to get back into politics. And I know, we were trying to just kind of get away from Hillary, but you knew that she was going to come up for water and trying to find a way to kind of get back in. She loves power. She just alluded just a couple days ago that above anything else, above any other office, the goal is actually the White House. But here this went down yesterday. Hillary Clinton.
Where everyday sexism and structural barriers were once blatant, today they're sometimes harder to spot, but make no mistake, they're still with us. Just look at all that's happened in the last few days to women who were simply doing their jobs. April Ryan, a respected journalist with unrivaled integrity, was doing her job just this afternoon in the White House press room when she was patronized and cut off trying to ask a question. One of your own California congresswomen, Maxine Waters, was taunted with a racist joke about her hair. Now, too many women, especially women of color, have had a lifetime of practice taking precisely these kinds of indignities in stride. But why should we have to? And any woman who thinks this couldn't be directed at her is living in a dream world.
Oh, but thank God we're not living in Hillary's America. Denise D'Souza, thank you so much for Hillary's America. Seriously, if you haven't seen the movie, thank you, Hillary Clinton, for reminding all women you are the stand-up quintessential woman of woman. All young ladies should subscribe to be just like you, where you actually enabled your husband. For all those years, for all those dozens and dozens of women, very well known in Washington and Amina and was in Arkansas when you were in the governor's mansion. I mean, you allowed it to happen. And then what happened when these women would say they were taken advantage of and they were thrown to the curb? What did? You destroyed their lives. Yeah, just like you destroyed the host of this broadcast, the former host, Chuck Harder. Yeah, we remember you, Hillary. You're dirty. Anybody gets in your way, forget about it. Oh, Bill O'Reilly, Maxine Waters, the hair was horrible. Oh, my God. Seriously, it did. I saw the picture that he was referring to, and it really looked like she didn't style her hair. I didn't even blow dry, just literally got out of bed. And said that it had James Brown hair. But if you say anything like that, it's racist. It's racist. Give me a break. And then April Ryan, unrivaled integrity. What in the world? Unrivaled? Did you even know who April Ryan is? Give me a break. Unrivaled? What network? Give me a break. She was patronized and cut off. Well, a lot of people, in case you didn't realize, get cut off when stuff is not in line with what the press conference is talking about. Spicer does it to all those folks sitting in the room. I've seen it. It's tough. It's spicy. I think the name fits Sean Spicer. You should watch the White House press secretary for the daily press briefing. Actually, let's listen into a little bit. It's going on as we speak. Here he is.
Well, I think sometimes they're a little off on that. That is what they're charged with doing. And I think there's a score where I think it's not a question of trust. It's a question of accuracy. And I think that the issue that we previously brought up was when they had scored people in coverage which isn't necessarily their wheelhouse. They had been way off. And again, I don't think it's a question of us trusting or not. It's literally a question of saying they believed that 26 million people would be on Obamacare, 10.4 were and falling. I think that's not a question of whether we trust them or not. It's a question of that those are the facts. And those facts bear out that they were off by more than 50% when it came to counting people. And I just want to be clear that it's not a question of whether we trust them. I would ask whether that's really what they're supposed to be doing. Major.
Sean, let's go over a couple things
Major
that we
Garrett.
talked about on Monday. On Monday, you said to us from the podium you would look into how Chairman Nunes was cleared here and with whom he met. Can you give us, we tried to ask you that yesterday as you walked out. Do you have any information to live up to the commitment you made here on Monday to provide more details about how that happened in a process you just told us that, again, is above board and totally appropriate?
I don't have anything for you on that at this time. But again, I don't.
What have you looked into?
I have asked some preliminary questions. I have not gotten answers yet, and I think so no, I don't have anything further on that. But again, I would argue, Major, it's interesting, and I brought this up the other day, that there seems to be this fascination with the process. It's how did he get here? What door did he enter? As opposed to what's the substance of what we're finding. When I get, not from you, and I'm not trying to be, but it's so many times I get these calls that we have an unnamed intel source that says the following substance occurred. Do you admit it? Do you deny it? Whatever. And we have this argument over substance. In this case, the fascination is with what door did he come in? Who did he meet with? How did he get waved in? As opposed to what I think it should be, and ironically it's not when it's the shoes on the other foot, is what's the substance? Just yesterday, just to be clear, we started this day with the Washington Post falsely posting a story saying the White House blocked Sally Yates, right? By the end of the day, it's officials blocked Sally Yates. They were wrong, and they jumped to a conclusion based on whatever unnamed sources. And I think that what we're trying to do is argue that there should be a process. The chairman of the House Intelligence Committee and others are going through a review. We support that review. And so as much as I understand that everyone wants to jump to how did everyone get in, what did they do, they're undergoing an investigation.
I have a substantive question about that.
Okay.
But I'm just asking you about something you told us.
No, I said I would look into it.
Are you going to continue to look into it?
I will look into it, and whether or not...
You live up to that obligation?
No, I will. But the obligation is I said I would look into it, and I would continue to do that.
Okay. So, you said yesterday about Sally Yates. Show what
Wow. I mean, they grill this guy nonstop. I mean, you got to have... You almost have to have a turtle shell. Not going back in the shell, but hard as a shell because they scrutinize and they want to know. And that's what the press corps is for, to ask questions. But, sometimes you got to just go at his pace. And sometimes the White House comments about certain things, when they're looking into things, they look into things. But I would not want that position at all. You got to pray for these press secretaries, man. They are relieved, I'm sure, after they leave that post. Look at Dana Perino. She made out real well with Fox News. We'll be back with Nevin Gusack.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people, for the people, for the people is there.
Here's a message to every rapist, domestic abuser, violent criminal thug, and every other monster who preys upon women. Maybe you've heard the stories about millions of us flocking to gun stores and gun ranges for the first time, the second time, and the 100th time. Here's what that means for despicable cowards like you. Your life expectancy just got shorter. Because there's a very good chance your next target will be armed, trained, and ready to exercise her right to choose her life over yours. This is what real empowerment looks like. Millions of American moms, grandmothers, and professional women taking our lives and our families' lives into our own capable hands. I'm the National Rifle Association of America, and I'm freedom's safest place.
The internet is a big place, but 123 Ready TV has made it easy to start enjoying all of the current movies you enjoy and those movie classics. What if I told you that you could start streaming everything now and all the latest movies for just $19.99? And it's a one-time charge, not monthly. 123 Ready TV is a media app that you can have on your PC or your Android phone. You see, this app allows you to stream movies and TV shows, weather, and anything you already have on your PC or your phone or on the internet. Plus, no commercials. Find out why so many people are using this amazing media player. Start saving money and start enjoying all your favorite TV shows now and movies for just a one-time payment of $19.99. To get yours, go to forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com and click on the store page for your 123 Ready TV. For the People is on the air for you. Each day we strive to tell it to you straight, not watered down, so you can know what's going on each day. Our show is different from many of the others on air. We're not afraid of the PC police, and we explain our position, at the same time understanding the left's position and what we can do to further a conservative agenda for America. For the People is listener-supported and relies on listeners like you to help us get the word out. So, if you like what we do and want to help For the People, sign up today at our website at forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com. Your support allows us to report the news fearlessly and guarantees our survival on the air. As a thank you, we'll send you our monthly newsletter with commentary and money-saving tips. Can we count on your support? Thank you for helping America. To become a For the People member, log on to forthepeopleshow.com. Now, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Keith Allen. We're back from that break, and Nevin Gusack joins us from his home somewhere in Florida. I think he's got the day off. Lucky you. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
Nevin, lots of things going on in Washington, and it's just been this ongoing saga, and it seems like you almost have to have several degrees to try to sift through all of this collusion, with Russia and how much involvement they had, and with the Trump people, and with the CIA, the FBI. I mean, to try, and there's investigations going on, as you know. Obviously, what the left would love, what they'd love to take place, is if they can show that there's collusion, with the Trump organization, then, and him running and talking with them, or that exchange going on and pinning it to him, then they would be able to obviously have Trump just booted out of the presidency. But I don't see that happening.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. I mean, first off, as I've mentioned on other interviews, this whole notion of the majority of the Democrats piling on Trump, and even some of the Republicans like Senator John McCain piling up on Trump because of his, some of his former advisors' connections to Russia, is really the pot calling the kettle black, to be honest with you. I mean, the Democratic Party, really even during what I term the open Cold War period, has always had very, very close ties with the Russians, with the Soviets. Let's take a few historical examples. Let's look at the case of former Senator, the late Senator Teddy Kennedy, who Soviet archives is smuggled out by Vladimir Bukovsky, the famous dissident, one of the famous anti-communist dissidents, indicates how Senator Kennedy actually worked with the Soviet Union to undermine the re-election bid of Ronald Reagan. So here you have the Democrats joining hands with the avowed enemy of the United States, the Soviet Union, to basically get communism's favorable candidate in there. And of course, I've been very critical on my writings and interviews with Ronald Reagan for a variety of reasons, including foreign policy. But the fact of the matter is that Democrats engage one of their real heroes when it comes to domestic policies, Teddy Kennedy, got himself entangled with the enemy of the United States to intervene in an American election. Or let's look at the case of, and there was no hullabaloo and hue and cry from the media or from the Congress of the United States regarding that piece of history that surfaced some years ago It didn't make the front page headlines of the New York Times, and it wasn't reported on CNN. So really, again, that's one example. Really,